Crash Team Racing might have been the game that I sunk the most hours into in my childhood. It had a ludicrous amount of content, unmatched by any other kart racer, even to this day, and it was something that my entire family would bond over, so whether I was playing on my own or with my family, CTR was always there. What I'm trying to say is, if the following review comes off as incredibly biased, at least you have some context for that. Anyway, with the success stories of the Crash Insane Trilogy and Spyro Reignited Trilogy over the past couple of years, it only made sense that Crash Team Racing would get another shot at the spotlight, but is it still the gem it once was? Yes. Yes it is. Seriously, if you've played the original Crash Team Racing, then this is just that, but with updated graphics, audio, and even more content than the original game featured. The gameplay, to the remake's benefit, remains mostly untouched, and provides the same easy-to-pick-up, hard-to-master mechanics that were present in the original, just with some new tracks and races from Crash Nitro Kart dropped in for good measure. So if you're someone who loved the original and for some incredibly odd reason hasn't picked the game up, do yourselves a favor and grab it now, it's very good. Now, for those unfamiliar, Crash Team Racing is essentially the Mario Kart of the Crash Bandicoot series. The initial roster is full of familiar characters, and the racetracks on offer usually riff off of established levels in the mainline Crash games, where many of the power-ups are also borrowed from. Where CTR Nitro Fuel differentiates itself from its contemporaries is in its unique drift boost mechanic, wherein racers are able to power slide around corners and initiate up to 3 separate speed boosts with a well-timed button press. The drift itself allows for a surprising amount of steering control, allowing experienced drivers to drift boost on straights as well as corners, and chaining these together with jump boosts, earned by jumping off of ramps, and boost pads is the key to mastering any track. What's more, these mechanics aren't overly difficult to pull off. The moment when you need to press the boost button is much more clearly defined than it was in the original, both in the game's HUD elements and with each kart's glowing wheels, and the game as a whole does a solid job of teaching new players with extensive loading screen hints. Beyond its drift boost, CTR functions much like any other kart racer. Its controls are responsive, there's a good selection of weapons and power-ups on offer, and the action feels pretty fast-paced. But it's with regards to the game's content that Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled shines brightest. On top of its decent roster and list of available tracks, the game features a ludicrous number of game modes, some of which weren't even in the original game. You've got your standard single races, cup races, time trials, and battle modes, but these battle modes in particular have been expanded upon. Instead of simply allowing for point, time, and life-based battles where you're dropped into an arena with a bunch of weapons to blast your friends, the battle mode also offers Crystal Grab, where players compete to collect 20 crystals on a stage, Capture the Flag and Bacon Stealer, where players scramble to steal flags and return them to their bases, and a last kart standing elimination battle, as well as the modes that were available in the original. Also making its return from the original is CTR's Adventure Mode, wherein the speed racing alien Nitrous Oxide challenges the citizens of Earth to a race for the fate of the planet. In this mode, racers collect trophies to prove themselves worthy enough to face Oxide by winning singles races and beating zone bosses to progress. In addition to this, you also have tokens and relics to collect. These collectibles are earned by playing the Adventure Mode's 2 other types of race, the CTR Challenges and Relic Races. The CTR Challenges throw you into normal single races with the added objective of collecting the letters C, T, and R on top of simply asking you to win. Relic Races, on the other hand, are essentially time trials that feature time crates that can be broken to pause the race clock for a designated number of seconds. Like I said, Crash Team Racing is absolutely packed with content, and while that is its strongest point, at least for me as someone who predominantly plays single player, it's also the only place where the game seems to stumble. You see, while the original Crash Team Racing karts and roster are available from the start, there's a huge amount of skins, Nitro Kart characters, and kart customization options that can be unlocked, which is awesome, but how you unlock them is handled pretty badly. Most skins, characters, and kart items are available in the game's pit stop, which acts as a rotating live store. The available content rotates daily, and as long as you have things to unlock, there will be things to buy, but the prices for these items are kind of absurd. A single racer costs 1500 coins, a unique skin costs 2500 coins, and most karts cost over 4000, and the coin rewards for simply playing the game just aren't that satisfying. The most you can earn from a single offline race is 80 coins, and though online play is generally much more rewarding, it's also unpredictable. Sometimes you could be walking away from a race with 10 times the offline rate of reward, and sometimes you could be walking away with only double. The fact that the currency and cosmetics are all part of a live store comes with its own issues as well. If you're having any trouble connecting to the CTR servers for whatever reason, you won't be able to access the store, and your actual rewards that you earn may not register at all. Live stores are terrible. Can we not add them to every game, please? Now, the game has just received an update, literally 2 days ago at time of writing, which makes the rewards a little more transparent, though the base rewards themselves seem to be reduced, which sucks. The entire coin element of the game is all jacked up and needs to be reworked, completely. This update also added a brand new feature called the Grand Prix, which functions as a timed event where new characters, skins, and carts are available and are earned by completing event-specific challenges. Again, this is fine. More free content is rarely a bad thing in my eyes after all, but the act of actually unlocking all of this content can feel like a bit of a grind. The requirements for unlocking are just so high. Like Mortal Kombat 11 a couple of months back, this game feels tailor-made for abusive microtransactions, but there aren't any to be found. Instead, the game just feels like it doesn't respect your time, at least not when it comes to unlocking cosmetics in the pit stop. I suppose, at the very least, the cosmetic items do look really good, as does the rest of the game. Characters are brimming with personality thanks to updated models and animations, and the new skins feature a bunch of great fan service for those who are super familiar with the Crash franchise. The game's tracks are similarly full of life, and the level of detail that's been added during translation into the insane art style is much appreciated. I also very much appreciate the choice to allow players to swap between the new soundtrack and the legacy soundtrack, even if the new audio is still pretty spot on. Honestly, as a fan of the original, I'm incredibly happy with how this game has turned out. CTR Nitro Fueled manages to add even more content on top of the original's ludicrous amount of stuff to do, and while its unlockables are mishandled a little bit, or a lot, I like having a reason to come back to the game once I've hit 101% in the adventure mode. Hell, just adding an online mode, which, aside from the coin-related elements, works pretty reliably, would have been enough, but the constant flow of customization options is a good incentive to keep coming back, and the advent of future Grand Prix events adding more characters, carts, and tracks for free is just really exciting to me, even if ultimately the reward system is incredibly messed up. Now with all that said, Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled is excellent. I can safely say without a hint of irony that Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled is the new gold standard in kart races, for me at least. It looks and sounds awesome, it's just as smooth and satisfying to play and master as the original was, and it offers just so much more content than not only its contemporaries, but also the game that it's a remake of. It's just a shame that getting a lot of that content feels like a bit of a grind. Even with that pretty big strike against it, I can't recommend this game highly enough, really. Go get it, now.